What really happened at the Swiss Alpine bar? In the early hours of New Year's Day, a packed alpine bar at the Crans Montagnes ski resort became the scene of one of the deadliest tragedies in Switzerland's modern history. A fire tore through the crowded Constellation bar during New Year's celebrations, taking the lives of at least 40 people and injuring more than 100 others. Investigators believe the blaze was accidentally ignited when sparkling candles placed on champagne bottles came too close to the low ceiling, causing flames to spread rapidly through the tightly packed space. In the aftermath, survivors, grieving families, first responders, medical staff, government officials, and even religious leaders spoke out in multiple languages, reflecting Switzerland's multilingual culture. Witnesses described scenes of panic, smoke, and unimaginable loss as ordinary citizens, many of them young people, risked their own lives to pull others to safety. Hospitals were overwhelmed, families searched desperately for loved ones, and authorities emphasized that identifying victims was the immediate priority so mourning could begin. Leaders across the country called the tragedy a moment of collective grief, but also one marked by courage, solidarity, and human compassion. Now, as details continue to emerge and emotions remain raw, people across social media are reacting, questioning how this could have happened, who bears responsibility, and what lessons must be learned. In this video, you'll hear creators share their reactions, theories, and perspectives on the Swiss Alpine bar fire, breaking down what's been confirmed, what remains unclear, and how this tragedy is being understood around the world. After watching this video, be sure to share your thoughts in the comments below, and be sure to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives and reactions.
I don't know if you've heard about this terrible fire in Switzerland in a resort town called Crans Montana. It was a New Year's Eve celebration. The venue itself had 2 floors with a narrow set of stairs that led down into a basement level section of the bar, and that is where the fire took place. While they're still investigating, the fire caught on the ceiling of the basement level of this bar and spread across the ceiling there, and it captured people in that space. And the only exit that they had was that set of stairs that led down into the bar itself. So just imagine that. Everybody's trying to get out through that one set of stairs. My name is Karen Cox, and I'm a historian of the American South. And while I talk a lot here about the lost cause, something that I have spent years researching is something called the Rhythm Club fire. This was a fire that took place in 1940 in the town of Natchez, Mississippi, and well over 250 people perished in that fire, all of whom were African American. There were some eerie similarities between these 2 fires today and the one that took place in 1940. One is that the fire caught along the ceiling. It rolls across the ceiling and then drops down on the people who are on the dance floor or in the bar area. The other thing that is eerily similar is the lack of exits. It sounds as if only one exit allowed them to get out of that bar in this town in Switzerland. This was the same thing in 1940 when the Rhythm Club fire burned. There was only one exit, and that meant that everybody's trying to get out one single door, and there's hundreds of people in this bar, both then and now. Another tragic part of this story is that most of the people who were in that bar in Switzerland were young people, and this was also the case in 1940 in Natchez, Mississippi. So yes, there are similarities, but here's the problem. We have learned, and certainly firemen have learned, a lot about fire safety. And we've known for decades that one of the problems of a fire like this one that happened in Switzerland and had happened in Natchez in 1940 was the lack of exits that would allow people to get out of a situation like that. So they're still investigating this fire, but one of the things they said they were investigating was whether or not there were appropriate number of exits. This is something that continues to happen, and very often they somehow escape these fire codes. or work around it in order to create a bar or something, because the owners are generally more interested in profit than saving lives.
Okay, so we gotta talk about what happened in Switzerland. There was a fire that broke out at a ski resort over there. I'd like to send my condolences and say rest in peace to the 40 people that died. And I know I send my condolences to the 190 people who got injured. Now, I started off the video with you guys, with showing you guys that recording for a reason. Now, I could start off this video and, point out that in Switzerland, you can start drinking and, going out to nightclubs and stuff like that at the age 16. 16 and above, you can drink and go out to nightclubs, that and the third. So in the video, when the fire broke out, you just see people bring out their phones. Jokes aside, it's scary how like this is just some Black Mirror crazy. So in that nightclub, in the report, it says ages 16 to 26. So, you can't point your finger and say, oh, it's the kids, it's the kids. No, it's literally just the damn phones. It's our damn phones at this point, and it's a shame. And it's crazy to me because there's videos circulating around, right, where when the fire first broke out, and then the fire was still breaking out, it wasn't at a point where it was like life-threatening yet, but it was to a point where it was like, okay, why are these people still here recording on their phones? Why aren't these people leaving yet? You think when you see the fire broke out at first on the roof, you'd think you'd see some, everyone would start leaving, but no, that's not the case. And again, I know in Switzerland with like this whole age stuff, but I feel like after this incident, Switzerland really, really needs to think about this whole like 16-year-olds are able to drink and like do all this like adult stuff. Because I'm also led to believe if there are people that young who's able to drink, and again, I know it's not just the young ones. I know there are people ages going to 26. I know it's them too, but you gotta think, there were probably people in that club who, especially the young ones, who could not hold their liquor. It's sad. It really like hurts me that there are like young people who had a whole life ahead of them and they died off of a bottle sparkler, and they couldn't escape the club because they drank a lot more than they should have, and they didn't know what's going on, and they just couldn't hold their liquor. And it's really messed up. Again, the videos all over Twitter, it really made my gut wrench when everybody decided to leave when it was too late. You could see the video when, as soon as a fire like engulfed, as soon as it wasn't funny anymore, that's when everybody decided to book it, and it was already too late. And another thing that really messed me up about like, I guess what times we're in, is there was a video of people recording outside of the nightclub. The nightclub basically has like glass panes on it, so you could see the fire and like the people inside the fire through the glass. What messed me up is there was only one person that came to the glass to break it open and help. There were at least so many other people just recording it go down. So you mean to tell me you see people dying inside of a nightclub, inside of a fire, and instead of going to help like that one guy, you decide to sit there and record the whole thing? I'm just believing like, if someone's in danger or if you're in danger, I think we just gotta assume that people around us aren't gonna help. People are just gonna pull out their phones and record the whole thing. This reminds me of that woman who got stabbed on the bus, and instead of like anyone intervening, everybody just pulled out their phones and just recorded. Same for like the whole like subway incident in New York, where like either the lady got pushed in or she was set on fire. Everyone just pulled out their phones. I don't know where this is going, but I really hate that we're at a time in humanity where when something hits the ceiling, when a traumatic event happens, the first thing that everyone does is pull out their goddamn phones. I don't know when this is going to stop. I think it's only going to get worse. Again, prayers out to the ones who died, to the ones who got hurt in Switzerland. I can't imagine what it's like, just like going out to like again, y'all know I'm a frequent club goer. I love dancing, I love dance floors, but I just can't like imagine just that like being my last night, maybe not holding my liquor, you know, pulling out my phone, thinking it's all fun and games. It's like they had the Grim Reaper staring at them and they just, I don't know, bro. Again, my condolences, bro. This is so sad.
So the Swiss prosecutors opened criminal charges against the managers of the ski resort bar where the massive fire happened on New Year's Eve. Now, the most likely cause of that fire was because the owners of the bar had actually done most of the work inside themselves instead of hiring people, and the second cause was thought to be the sparklers put on the tops of champagne bottles, which were then held up too close to the ceiling, starting the fires. So as of today, we know that there are 40 deaths due to this fire and also 119 injured, and some of the injured or killed are still not known to their families, because these families do not know what hospitals to go to. They don't know where their children are. This has been an absolute tragedy to all of those who had friends or family attending this event. So it was the preliminary investigation that has found out that it's the sparklers of the champagne bottles which is the most likely cause of what has happened. And the French managers of the Constellation, which is the name of the bar, are suspected of having committed negligent homicide, causing body harm by negligence and arson by negligence also. And the prosecutor's office has said in a statement this afternoon that they are looking to pursue those charges.
Constellation bar. See above those girls? That's foam soundproofing. It's flammable if not treated.
Okay, you guys see the Crans, Montana, I'm not going to say it right, in Switzerland. We've got the ski resort bar that went up in flames. 40 people lost their lives, lots of other ones hurt. Did you watch the footage of this, guys? It is mind-blowing. What kind of vibe was going on in this ski resort bar that people saw that insane flame, the insane flamage of the roof, of the ceiling, and then just thought, that's cool. And then they just are dancing to the beat of the flame. I have been in bars, I've been in clubs, I've had me a couple of brewskis in my lifetime, and I'm trying to picture myself being in that situation and seeing the ceiling go up in flames and not leaving. That had to have been a hell of a vibe. I mean, they were feeling it. They were feeling good. They were feeling real good. My heart goes out to the people that were lost in that. It's not a joke. It's not a joke at all. But I do want to know, man, that was a special vibe that night. That they were on top of the world until they weren't. So that's crazy. That's crazy footage to watch.
Has anyone else seen that club fire in Switzerland on their feed? About 40 people went home to glory. And they were saying about 150, something like that, 200 people. It's some sort of ski resort, little club. People were fighting for their life to get out of the doors. This little narrow doorway. And it looks like the outside, like the walls were not brick and mortar. Meaning like some sort of something that could be busted open, kicked down, something you use something of very hard that can actually break it, Why are there people standing around, males, standing around with their phones while others were trying to help? There's several guys in the video. And they were drunk. I would have sobered up real quick because it's like, holy crap. Like, and you're standing there and they're in front of the parts of the wall where you should be trying to get something to get through it so more people can try to come out, because there were people, because the doorway was so people, it was a stampede, people trying to get out of this narrow doorway. But if people on the outside would have started to tear down whatever that is, it's kind of like frosted see-through something. If people were trying to, like, on the outside, try to tear that down, perhaps, instead of supporting to get some good footage for their social media, they could have saved more people. They did show a man, one guy that was trying to rip through that whatever that was. I don't know what that was. But it's just, where are we at in society where you just watch somebody drown, you watch somebody get burned to nothingness in front of your face, but you want to record because, my followers, or, hey, this is good footage to get some views. You care more about views than people. Like, what's happening?